Last week we were talking about the mindfulness, and I talk about the faculty of mindfulness and the power of mindfulness, mostly on the faculty. And also we see the different, we look into the associated states that comes with mindfulness, especially when you are in the higher stages of development. When it comes with, like, for example, equanimity, then when it comes with equanimity, then this nature of equanimity, the characteristics of equanimity, they are the one who makes all other associated mental states to be balanced, like the effort or the concentration, so that they are not too much, not too little, that things can able to go on smoothly. So mindfulness is the one that able to know that the mind is imbalanced right now. And the equanimity is the one that makes it balanced. But then, as I said, also, normally when we generally talking, when we're generally talking, we just said mindfulness do the balancing. Okay? But the equanimity actually doing the balancing. Mindfulness knows that it is in balance. Mindfulness knows that these things arises, this way arises, that thing arises, because the nature of mindfulness is to go close to the state of mind or to the state of the object, to confront the object, near to it, face to face with the object. That's why you can able to notice all these things. Then also on Wednesday, I talk about the six paths. The six paths. The six paths here, that there are tranquility. Let's go to the screen sharing just to go through a little bit. Faculty. Right. And not this one. Stop share. Not this one. Oh, okay. Hold on, yeah. Hold on. All right. Okay, could y'all see? Can y'all see? Faculty. Okay. Now, on last week, where did we go? Yeah, last week we talked about the six paths here. And I mentioned it, that these things, it will come together with the development of the mindfulness. You don't really have to purposely exercise it, because this is kind of like, it comes together with a strong mindfulness. Sister Jenny, tonight, since wheeling is not in, so you have to press and meet people in.
Oh, okay, Reverend.
All right, thank you. If not, they'll be waiting on the waiting room. Okay.
Okay, Reverend.
All right. Okay. All right, the six paths here. Okay, the six paths, as I said, that when it comes with the mindfulness, once the mindfulness goes into a very continuous state, then the nature of the tranquility also come in sometimes, and it clears away all the mental disturbances, mental noises, or it cools off the agitation, the restlessness, and regret or worry. The lightness also comes together with it, because here you can able to turn the mind into a different object easily. And not only turning the mind into a different object, that the mind also can able to pick up the nature of arising and passing away, seeing it as whether this is impermanent, seeing it as dukkha, or seeing it as anatta. So different ways that the mind can able to look at it and not fix in a certain way of noting. And also like pliancy or malleability, and the mind is soft. Soft in the sense that it is not so rigid or hard track. Sometimes when our meditation, especially when you go into the deeper aspect of meditation, we cannot change from one object to another, like changing from a sitting object to a walking object. As I said, sitting object, you can see things very clearly. But when it comes to the walking meditation, you cannot see any of the arising and passing away. In the sitting, you can see it changing here, there, but in the walking, you cannot see. Or in the standing also, you cannot see. Or in the daily activities also, you cannot see. That means your mind is more like fixed to a certain posture of meditation. Or even like from samatha to vipassana, we tend to go back to our habitual object. The mind tends to go back to its habitual practice. So when you go to a new practice, to a samatha practice, then the mind does not want to take note of the samatha. You just want to come back and see the changing, arising, passing away. And so too with those people from a samatha background want to go to a vipassana background, then they have to make a strong effort in order to push the mind from calmness, quietness into noticing things in the sense of more dynamic, more changing, not so calm in that sense. So here the malleability or the pliancy is important. Now the wilderness here, when connected to the mindfulness, here also that it is not too hard, not too soft. The mind it's workable. That you can give it to any object. It's not too pushy on it or not to become too soft on it. It's just have a right amount of noting power, the optimum amount of noting power, that they can able to note an object clearly, but not over pushing it or under pushing it. This one also, as I said, it comes with more and more training as the mindfulness goes stronger. Then you kind of like know when to come to a certain optimal level. It takes a lot of practice because this one is states of mind, and it's not there all the time. All these things, and they are not there all the time. Kind of like they are there some of the time. By the time you know it, they're already gone. Usually, we are more interested with our meditation object, whichever meditation object, but we don't really see how the mind sometimes work. Then here, the proficiency or spontaneity or confidence, competence. Here, it means that it can able to know what to do when you got a certain problem. When you got a problem like a hindrance that is attacking you right now, like say for example, restlessness is there, strong, a lot of thinking. Then if you're proficient, you know what steps to take in order to overcome the restlessness. Then the mind goes into balance again. So next time it comes again, you know what steps to this one. Sometimes the hindrances, for example, they come in a different, sometimes, from restlessness, then after that it turns into sloth and torpor from another extreme. Then the mind quickly adapt to it, and then knows what to do with it. Then it already can able to overcome the sloth and torpor. So it's all proficiency. Then here, rectitude or uprightness or state or straightness. Here it means that the mindfulness has no other ulterior motive. It's for the purpose of gaining their enlightenment. It's for the purpose for getting out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. Not for the practice just because that your mindfulness is strong, your mindfulness is continuous.
Sorry, Reverend, it's muted.
Okay, all right. Can you hear again? Okay, now? All right, okay. Sometimes it go into unmute. I go into mute on our own. Never mind, it's okay. All right. Now, as I said, this rectitude here, it opposes all this insincerity, hypocrisy, or crookedness of the mind, deception, because sometimes when a yogi goes into a deeper aspect of the practice, then the taints of that craving and it turns the mind into like you want to find some gain, you want to find some glory, you want the teacher to praise you, you want the you want the position of being a teacher, or you want to be commended by your peers and so on. So all these things have that ulterior worldly motives. It's not really straight. Sometimes they practice these things and they, of course, also in the life. Then sometimes some people with a lot of Dhamma, or they think that they have a lot of Dhamma, and then they use this Dhamma to kind of like show off, to show to people that they know a lot of Dhamma. And they think that they are in the 20 years, 30 years, I've really meditated, I've already in the Dhamma and so on. Then it's not straight anymore. They want to show off and for their name and fame and gain. Sometimes there are people like that in the Dhamma. So here I talk about these things because it happens in our practice, in our meditation practice. These things also, that day also, on Wednesday also, I talk about it in connection with our everyday life. And also in connection with our everyday life. Sometimes some of it I talk about it, some I don't really go through it. But because that this is more of a meditation subject, then we connect it to a meditation. Maybe one day we can talk about it in more of a daily subject, daily everyday subject. Also, it's interesting also. Okay? All right. Now we go to the next faculty. We have covered this faculty of our faith and wisdom, and also mindfulness. As I said, mindfulness, you don't have to balance anything. Mindfulness is always not enough. No, mindfulness is always not enough. That means you have to make the effort to arouse and more mindfulness. The more the mindfulness it comes, then the equanimity also is there. All the rectitude, the tranquility, they will definitely come. Then it will come into balancing the effort and the concentration, and also to determine whether this is the right wisdom or not the suitable wisdom for that particular time, the right faith or the unsuitable faith. So these things, the nature of the mindfulness is the one that looks into all of it. So now we go to the effort. When it goes to the effort, and also we go into the concentration, then there's a lot of fine-tuning of the practice. So first of all, we need to understand the basic concept of effort. We just understand the nature of the effort in the overall sense. Then after that, we're going to go into a bit more deeper. I haven't figured out everything yet, but one of the things is that we're going to see while we are meditating, then we need to know when an effort becomes too much. When an effort becomes too much, what are the symptoms? What are the signs that is occurring at that present moment? So if you're getting more familiar with this type of signs coming up that the mind is getting too much effort, then very fast you can able to rectify the situation and to keep the mind balanced again. Or it is under effort, or it's a bit lazy, or sometimes maybe too concentration, less concentration. Then what are the signs that's coming in? And with that, by seeing the nature of the signs, seeing the nature of its conditioning right now and what is happening at the present, then by relationship, by understanding that this is the nature of the mind is getting a little bit imbalanced right now. You don't have to see the effort itself. You don't have to see the concentration itself. But just by looking at the signs of the body or how the noting mind is working, then you're already able to indicate that this is too much concentration, too much effort, or less effort, or less concentration. And then another thing is also, while we are balancing or rebalance the mind, it always must come with that mindfulness. We're going to show you sometimes yogi, when they do the meditation, when they try to rebalance everything, but they don't do it with mindfulness or lacking of mindfulness. They just push the mind in the opposite direction. If it's sometimes people thought that, oh, my mind is too much effort, I'm going to increase my concentration. But you forget to increase the mindfulness together with it, then problem comes in. And or maybe it says that, oh, my mind is too much energy right now. I'm going to lessen the mind, lessen that energy. But you didn't come with mindfulness again. Then you lessen too much and then it goes into sleep. So again, the mindfulness is important. The mindfulness knows where it comes, because it comes with that equanimity. It knows how to come down to the optimal level. Okay? So we're going to look into all this. Maybe take a while. I haven't figured out anything yet. In the effort now, in the effort here, I was wondering how to start the talk, how to start this effort thing. You see, past this weekend and today or so, once in a while I tune into the Olympics. I look at it, not because I want to see who win or who die or who get all the gold and who get the second, who get the last. It's not. I'm not interested in that. But when you see the Olympics, at the world stage, people train so much. For years and years they train. In order just to achieve sometimes like you can able to lift a kilogram more, or 2 kilograms more. Or you can go 100th of a second faster. Like if in 100 meter, sometimes these things comes in like whether you get a goal or a second. It comes 100th of a second. 100th of a second means like if you are if nowadays, like for example, I don't know what's the world record right now for 100 meter for men, 9.7 something, I think. But for you to able to go from a 9.8 to a 9.7, it takes you years of practice, years of effort, just to so that your time can shorten by just tenth of a second or hundredth of a second. In that sense, and finally, it's that glory or the dejection or the triumph and the agony that comes together after you finish the finish line. Yeah? It's that triumph, it's that agony, you can see it in their faces. That makes the Olympic interesting. Now, if there is no triumph and no agony, no people, no happy and no crying, then Olympic is no fun to see, isn't it? Who first, second, third, only a so big deal. No happiness, nothing. And because of all these things, that this whole thing or worldly stage that people are striving for it now is all part of what we call, the Buddha call it, the 8 winds of change, 8 worldly conditions. Because when you win, like for example, if you win, like in Malaysia or in Southeast Asia country, don't talk about US and China and so on. They are good. But in Southeast Asia country, if you're able to win a goal, they will treat you like a deva already, They will parade you all over the cities and everything. If in Malaysia they give you Datuk Tan Sri, I don't know what they give you. And also they give you a lot of everything, a lot of gains and fame and name and so on. It's not only the glory, but everything. But then after a few years later, they still want to compete in the Olympics. But then the younger ones will start to beat them already. Then they start to compete. Oh, they cannot achieve their maximum potential already. Then the younger ones beat them. The younger win, and then they go into dejection and everything. 8 worldly condition is all inside there. I find it interesting. I do not know who win the goal, who win this one, but I find that their emotion is all that. But I say they win. They make so much of energy, determination for years of training. How much effort they put into it now for that worldly glory. So too, like in meditation, Nibbana is your Olympic. Nibbana here is your Olympic, is your finishing line. How much effort are you going to put into it? How much determination you're going to put into it? And this one, whether you're old or whether you're young, you still can able to push. And your finishing line, if you don't finish it, your finishing line will carry on the next life. They carry on to the next life, and it's still there until you cross that line, and then you get out of this samsara. There's so much effort you have to put into it. There's nothing lack of it. Sometimes there are people, there are devotees in Malaysia that I've known of. I've heard also. It says, well, Sotapanna is not so difficult. All you need to do is read all the Nikaya or the books, and then you can able to gain Sotapanna already. No need to do so difficult. And then sometimes with that, they give you all the evidence in the suttas that, hey, you see, these people listen to the Buddha only can attain arahantship already. These people listen there, sit down there, the Buddha gave Dhamma talk. Then here they are, Sotapanna already. No need to make so much effort. Why you want to make so much effort? With that interpretation. And then this is a very dangerous interpretation. As I said, I think some time ago, when we said that nowadays we do not find this type of people anymore. Maybe yes, 99.9% or 99% not anymore. 0.01% maybe they are still there, but majority no. Majority you have to put in the effort. Even during the Buddha's time, majority of the people have to put in the effort to meditate. There are hundreds of thousands of monks during that time, or 100 over 1,000 or a lot. What we read in the suttas and so on, the sutta or the commentary, there's only a very small handful of it, then it deserves to mention in the sutta. But those are not mentioned in the suttas is tremendously a lot, and they have to train and train and train and train and train and train and train. Effort. You have to make so much effort. I think about a few days ago, this I saw in the Facebook, they gave two picture on the Philippines weightlifter, women weightlifter. She won the gold. She won the gold for weightlifting, competing with everybody on the world stage. Anyway, what in the picture is interesting is this. One of the picture, he shows the gold. The other picture, he shows the hard work, which is the hand, which is all her palms, which is come with the callus and blood and so on. The thickening of the skin, the hardening of the skin. One is the gold, and one is the blood and the hardening skin, and it shows that of years and years of practice. It shows that how much effort they have to put in just for the goal. Anyway, connection with this, maybe I tell you a story. This story begins it's a long ago story. Maybe 1,000 years ago story. More in the Tibetan tradition. Now, this is master, enlightened master. This enlightened master, he got a number of disciples, and there's one senior disciple. Over the time, after practice for some time, then the senior disciple requests from the master. He says, "Master, I think I'm ready to receive the special teaching for enlightenment." Okay? A special teaching for enlightenment. Then the master looked at him. He says, "Well, okay, I think you are ready now." So the disciple is very happy. So both of them, okay. So he wants to give the special teaching to the disciple. So two of them, they walk for a number of days, and they gone into the jungle or the forest, into the deep forest. Then the disciples begin to prepare the area, prepare the place to get ready for the momentous occasion. For the momentous occasion. So when everything is ready in the night, everything is lit up in the night, and they are ready to receive the special teaching that is going to make the disciple enlightened. Then after that, the teacher, the master, walk in front of him. And then, the disciple is sitting down, the teacher is standing up. They are facing the face to each other. Then the disciple is ready for the teaching. So the master says, when you are ready, okay. Then the master turned, the master turned and laid his back and the senior disciple able to see his whole back, everything. After that, the master lift up the sarong, his sarong, he lift up his longi and show him his buttock. Show him his buttock, show him his backside. To show him that the backside is full of callus and hardening of the skin or thickening of the skin. That is the esoteric teaching. There's no special teaching. It's all about hard work, hard work. You sit until your buttock become hardened. Not your head become hardened. There's no such thing as an esoteric teaching. It is all about effort, and more effort. You go and press your buttock and see whether how hardened your buttock is. If it's not hardened enough, you better meditate more. That's the nature. It's all about effort. It's all about practice. It's more and more practice only. Sometimes in some tradition, they thought that there are some of this special teaching and no, but the master knows there's no such thing. It's all about you doing it again and again and again. Even like nowadays, like in the places that I went for meditation, I've seen yogis able to spend years in meditation, years in meditation to achieve what they want to achieve. And it's not easy. It is really not easy. They practice and practice and practice. And there are also yogis that I've seen, they sit on the same spot in the meditation sitting in a meditation hall. They sit there for years until that particular spot become like darkened. Because a lot of these meditation centers, they are wooden. It's a parquet. It's a wooden panel on the floor. It's a parquet, and because of the lacquer and so on, and over the years, that particular yogi sat there, and because of the sweat and everything, it becomes to react with the parquet, you react with the wood, and then that particular spot now become darkened. How much have they put in the effort? This is something that you have to think about. The effort here that we strive. You see, when we are striving for all these things, the striving is when you are not sick, when everything is going well, when you have the condition, you can make the effort much more easier, right? You can make the effort much more easier. For example, you have a meditation center compared to your house right now. How are you going to meditate at home? At home, very difficult. And the meditation centers, it's much easier for you to arouse that effort. As you see other people meditating, then it's easy for you to arouse that effort to go and meditate, to walk, sit. They do it whole day. You can do it whole day. You are not so concerned with all the chores and food and this and that. Everything you do is just to arouse the energy, to be mindful, to be alert in order for you to practice. So this is important. This is important. But the thing is that the more intensive effort, it is when things are not in your favorable condition. When things are not in your favorable condition, then that time you make that effort is even more stronger, more even, in the sense, is even more. For example, when you are sick, even when you are sick in the meditation center, it's not really an excuse to not meditate. Yeah. If you have, like for example, when we are during in the times when we are in the retreat centers, when we have stomach ache, diarrhea, we have to sit on the throne while doing it and still meditate. Smelling, coming out. You have to sit and still meditate, whether your mind is there or not. You have to keep on trying. Then, even you cannot wake up because you are weak enough, lying on the bed there. You cannot join your fellow warriors at the meditation hall there to meditate. You have to lie down there and you still have to note rising, falling, touching. After that, your mind is not clear, you slept, and then you wake up again, you are still weak, still not. Then that one, you really have to make that effort, that glorified effort. Even sometimes, like when you want to do something at home, you feel something so lazy. Today weather, mood and all that, it makes you so difficult. But then you push yourself to do it, You push yourself to do it. That is really, you have to bring out that effort. Your determination, your effort, everything. So there's no, when we want to talk about all these things, there's a lot we can talk. But just to let you all know that this effort is not that small little effort, like, whether you just want to go to a dana or not, or you go for dana and you feel good, well, that is still a good effort. If you previously have not done dana and you have done and you start doing dana, which is wonderful, which is good. But this is not the area I'm talking about. I'm talking about an effort really that is going to push you all the way for enlightenment, which is a faculty. And that is important. So we can talk about it a lot on this effort. But anyway, we go into the more towards the nature of the faculty and also the power. And from there on, we're going to look into it a little bit more deeper. Okay? Let us share the screen right now. Okay, hold on. I think I have to readjust the words again. Okay. Share screen. Okay, documentary. All right. Okay, can you all see the chart again? Okay. Now here again, this chart. We have been talking about it again and again. Now the effort here as a faculty, where it's going to act as something to push you forward, to exert you forward already. Here doesn't mean that you keep on pushing, Here is a balanced effort, a balanced exertion, not something that you keep on pushing like that, not that type of exertion. Not you trying to push a boulder and the boulder cannot move. You're trying to push, not that one. The boulder is already moving, the rock is already moving, or something is already moving, and you just keep on maintaining the effort to keep pushing it. So that it keep on moving. This is more of the understanding here. So as a faculty. Now, as a power, now, as a power, when the effort is strong and when effort is continuous because of the mindfulness, then this time the laziness of the mind, this is not sloth and torpor yet, this is the mental laziness. And sometimes this mental laziness, when it comes in, I'm sorry, just now I said sloth and torpor. Well, laziness is a kind of a sloth and torpor, but what I'm saying, laziness is not sleepiness. It's not the dullness of the mind. It's not the nodding of the mind, of the body. So just this laziness here, it means that the mind just drops the energy and it doesn't want to note the object in that sense. Just that little drop of energy only. Then because it is a power, it prevents this laziness from coming. Sometimes, for example, you thought that, you notice until, now 10 o'clock already. You meditate. Aya, kawa lah, it's like kun lah, can already, can go sleep already. But your mind is still clear. Why you want to go and sleep? Why you want to go and sleep? Not say, tomorrow maybe we need to do work lah, we do this lah. You give all kinds of excuse, But you are not. But your momentum is still going quite well. Your momentum is still going this one. But your thoughts, it comes in and kind of like the little Mara, standing there, the little devil, standing on their shoulders, begin to whispering in their ear, hey, no need already, can already, we can stop meditation. After all, you meditate so well already. This is what I meant. That type of laziness that it comes in, or sometimes it may not comes in as thoughts, but it can come in as just like a dip of the effort. Sometimes the dip of the effort, the effort slight the dip, then the mindfulness aware of it is already push it into a very optimum level within like few seconds only. So the power here, it prevents that laziness from coming in. So this is wonderful. It keeps the mind going until when it's and it really cannot, and you really cannot to push anymore, then only it stop. So here is the exertion, and and laziness as a faculty and as a power. We're going to talk about these things much more. Now, in the 37 Factors of Enlightenment, now in the 37 Factors of Enlightenment, where we are talking about also the 5 faculties and also the 5 powers, which is under this one. So if those who have not joined us earlier, then here as the 37 Factors of Enlightenment, effort is mentioned the most, 9 times. But this is all again academic, whether how many times. But just let me show you. Okay, let me go into my, wait. Show you the next word file. Okay, share again. Okay, can you all see this one? The 37 Factors of Enlightenment? Can okay, okay. All right. Make it bigger a little bit. Okay, for those who have not been earlier on, we are in the 5 faculties. And the 5 faculties here, it comes with this, it comes under the 37 Factors of Enlightenment or 37 Requisites of Enlightenment. We call it the Bodhi. Bodhi is the enlightenment, Pakya, Factors of Enlightenment, of Dhamma, Pakya Dhamma. Here we have four establishments of four foundation of mindfulness. I just copy and paste only. I didn't have the time to go and write everything. Chattaro Satipatthana. Usually I use the word four foundation of mindfulness. Nowadays they use the word four establishment of mindfulness because of the word sati and patana. Whether the sati is upatana or sati and patana, because of the Pali meaning, how they conjoin those words. And anyway, we are not going to go into those things. So we have four foundation of mindfulness. We have mindfulness of the body, feelings, mental states. Not mental states, our mind will do and mental qualities. Okay, Dhamma. Usually I don't translate this because it's difficult to translate. You put mental qualities and make it like a cetasika, but it's not actually. It is a conditioning. We are looking at the conditioning. Then we have this four right exertion. We're going to discuss a little bit on these things also. On this four right exertion, because it is a kind of connected with faculty, but this one we're going to look into it. We are in the faculty. It's more towards the fourth one already. Maybe third or fourth, but I think it's more towards the fourth one already. Where you have to sustain the what do you call that? Sustain the effort in a balanced manner. Anyway, okay, we're going to look into it a little bit more. Okay, then we have four bases of success, basis of spiritual power, the achievement of the spiritual power, including nibbana, including enlightenment. Here this is what we are talking. 5 spiritual faculties and 5 powers, they are the same, but then they have a different function. Okay, and then we have 7 factors of enlightenment, and then we have the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so the effort here, it states that there are 9 times it's being mentioned compared to others, because it's the most, because within the 4th right exertion, and then you have under effort, under basis of power, you also have under spiritual faculties, also you have 1, powers also you have 1, 7 factors of enlightenment, and the Noble Eightfold Path, also you have right effort. So altogether, there are 9 types of effort that's mentioning. Whether they have 9 types or not, they are all the same. They are all the same. Okay? What we want to look at right now is this Anguttara Nikaya. I'll share with you this one. Okay, wait now. Let me make it a little bit bigger. This is Anguttara Nikaya, Book of the Four. Book of the Four. The wait now. I make it bigger. I make it the font bigger for all. Wait now. Okay. I think okay. Here I think can see. Let me move this. Okay. Virtuous behavior. Then okay, striving. All right. This one is just now what I wrote there on this one. It's where we can get it from the suttas. Bhikkhu, there are 4 right strivings. What for? Here a bhikkhu generates desire for non-arising of unarisen, bad, unwholesome states. He makes an effort, arouses energy, applies his mind, and strives. He generates desire for the abandoning of arisen, unwholesome states. He makes an effort, and so on. He generates desire for the arising of unarisen, wholesome states. He makes effort. He generates desire for the persistence of the arising of the wholesome states, for their non-decline, for their increase, for their expansion, fulfillment by development. He makes effort, arouses energy, and so on. So what is important here is this one. He generates He generates desire for the non-arising, okay, of unwholesome states. This is the one. He generates for the abandoning of a reason bad unwholesome states. This is another one. He generates desire for the arising of unreason wholesome state. So next one, he generates desire for the persistent fulfillment by development. Okay, this is the one. For the unarisen, for the abandoning, for the arising, for the arousing, or for the persistence, for the development, for the increase and expansion. So this is striving, and this is connected with the four right effort. Sometimes the four right effort is in the Samma Vayama, but this one is Padana. So here, now this one is the four right strivings. Okay, the next one I also want to look into it. Now, just now, this one, what you're seeing inside in front of you right now in the screen, is that they tell you the concept of striving. Okay, it tells you the understand of concept of what to strive, what is in the thing inside there. What is the Samma Vayama, or what is the four right strivings? But the next sutta, which is also interesting, it tells you how to put those things into practice. How to put those things into practice. Now, here again, the next sutta is called the Anguttara. This is the book of the four, because there are four things, and under 14, okay, under restraint, okay, because there are four right strivings. What for? Striving by restraint, striving by abandonment, striving by development, striving by protection. And what bhikkhus is striving by restraint? Here, having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu does not grasp its mark and features. Since he left the eye faculty unrestrained, bad unwholesome states of longing and dejection might invade him. He practices restraint over it. He guards the eye faculty. He undertakes the restraint of eye faculty. Having heard a sound with ear, and then smell with the odor, and then tasted, and so on, until this, then all the five senses, and then this is called the striving by restraint. Now here is when it says striving of restraint, that means it is trying to put in the effort and not let the unwholesome states from arising. That means it prevents from it to arise. You see here, having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu does not grasp its mark and features. How do you not grasp the mark and features? This is where we train in the vipassana. You don't do it in samatha, but we do it in vipassana. During the vipassana, we ask the yogi, or we said, when you're not seeing, for example, you're not seeing. The reason we're not seeing is that, and you do it mindfully, if you don't do it mindfully, it doesn't work. If you don't do it mindfully, even your mind or your labeling is just not seeing, but you're still looking at the things. There, the person walked there. How the tree is there. The person is doing this, and then the teacher will just walk past. Another yogi walk past. Oh, that is my thing there. That means that particular yogi is grasping on the marks and features. Because when you grasp on the marks and features, it is, for example, how do you know that that is your teacher? Because he has that marks and feature. He got that sign. He got the face is like that. The way he walks like that. The way he wears like that. Oh, your friend passes through. Then while you're meditating, you saw that another yogi passes through. How do you know that this is that particular yogi? Because you know that she got a long hair or a short hair, her skin, what she wear. You grasp the marks and the features. That's why when you're not mindful, very easy for the eyes to go and look at all these things. So too, when your mind, when your eyes, when your ears are not mindful, then you begin to hear the words of it. What are they talking? Are they talking about me? What are they talking? What song is that? What is the words of those songs? You begin to grasp into the marks and features. So here, striving by restraint, that means while you're meditating, you make an effort to really label seeing, make the effort noticing, hearing, so that the mind doesn't go into all the marks and features. It just know hearing only, but it doesn't know the word. He knows there's a vision that comes up, but he doesn't know who they are. It just knows only, but it doesn't go into thinking who is it and so on. So it doesn't grasp the mark and features. So you put in the effort during this time, so it prevents the mind from all kinds of unwholesome thoughts coming up. If unwholesome thoughts coming up, maybe if the teacher passing through and then you already thinking that, is he going to come and talk to me, or is he come and tell other yogis off? Is he come and check? Your fear come up, everything come up. So if you not careful with the marks and features, then you will start to go into overthinking or thinking of other things already. So, and when you think of other things, then these unwholesome states all come in. So you make the effort to put putting the effort and the mindfulness together at the eyes, at the ears, at this one, at the smell, at the nose. So that is how you pay attention to it. What is the striving by abandonment? Then the Buddha also mentioned. Okay, here a bhikkhu does not tolerate an arisen sensual thought. He abandons it, dispels it, terminates it, and obliterates it. He does not tolerate an arisen thought of ill will, of a thought of harming. Then he abandons them, dispels them, and so on. So here again, the thoughts, the sensual thoughts already arisen. The ill will or the anger already arisen. Now you have to make the effort to abandon them. How do you make the effort to abandon them? Again, here with not by how? Not anger, desire. There we see it as it is. Although sometimes a sensual thought can be very lustful thought, can be a very strong, desirous thought, then the mind kind of like step out, but still able to not see desire, lust that comes out, or anger that comes out, or abandoned by it. Also another way that it changed the whole noting into metta. Instead of vipassana, it goes into metta in order to abandon it. Also can. He makes the effort to arouse metta, for example, to overcome the ill will. Or he goes into reflection on the 32 parts of the body. That then it reduce or abandon the sensual desire. He makes the effort, he makes the change right now. Okay? So by abandonment. Striving by development. Here by development is more like in the sense that you don't have it. Now you arouse it and you develop it. Okay? You don't have it. Here, a bhikkhu develops the enlightenment factor of mindfulness, which is based upon seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, maturing in release. Then the factor of discrimination of phenomena, factor of enlightenment, factor of energy, enlightenment factor of rapture, of tranquility, of concentration, and the factor of equanimity. Okay, so okay, hold on. Let me push this. Wait. Yeah, which is based upon seclusion, dispassion, cessation, and release. Then here again, just before I said that this one, again, the 7 factors of enlightenment, it's based upon seclusion, dispassion, cessation, maturing in release. All the 7 factors of enlightenment. It is not for your everyday life. Okay? Again, here is not for the everyday life, which is the Buddha mentioned it very many times in different places, which is based upon seclusion, dispassion, cessation, maturing in release. Release here means enlightenment. Seclusion here, viveka, means you have to go into a place where it's free from people, secluded in the body, secluded in the mind. Body, that means you're far from people. Mind, that means you're far from the hindrances. Kaya viveka, chitta viveka. So here, you don't have it, you arouse to have it. You arouse those things so that it brings about those factors. Okay. Next one is a bit strange. Okay. And what is this striving by protection? Here a bhikkhu protects a reason excellent object of concentration. The perception of a skeleton, the perception of worm-infested corpse, the perception of a livid corpse, the perception of a festering corpse, the perception of a fissured corpse, and the perception of a bloated corpse. This is called striving by protection. Now, why did the Buddha mention all the corpses? Now here, you see, we do not know who the Buddha is speaking to, because you see, in the beginning of the sutta, especially when you come into Anguttara Nikaya, there is no who is speaking. The bhikkhus, there are 4 factors of which bhikkhu is it talking to? We really do not know, right? Usually it's like in Majjhima Nikaya or the Dikha Nikaya, if they tell you some background first, who are they talking to, which monks are they talking to, then the Buddha gave the Dhamma. But in the problem with Anguttara Nikaya, we do not know actually who the Buddha is talking to. Most probably, with this understanding, most probably the bhikkhus here are doing the corpses meditation, which also falls under the Kaya Nupassana. When you Kaya Nupassana, there are 9 channel ground contemplation. Here the 9 channel ground, that means during the time in the Buddha, when they throw away the corpse of the body, they don't dig them 9 feet under the ground, or they don't cremate them, or they don't put them in a fire. They just wrap them up in the white cloth, and then they put in a charnel ground. That means on the surface. And here when it comes after a few days, then you can see that the corpses will decay on the stages, and then with bloated corpse, and then you have worm infested, you have bloody corpse, and then you have sinews and flesh remaining and bones remaining, and so on. And you see the different stages of corpses decaying. So most probably the bhikkhus here are doing this one. But what is important is to understand the background of these things. Because if you want to maintain any form of perception, not just only on corpses, but the perception on the meditation objects. So you need to protect it. You need to sustain it. So how do you going to need to sustain those things? Then there are many different ways how we can able to sustain your meditation objects. That means when you are doing all this rising, falling, sitting, touching, and so on, how are you going to maintain it for the longest period of time? That one you need to maintain. That means these are your object of concentration right now, that you have to protect them to maintain and as long as you can. Now, if you are doing the in-breath, out-breath as a samatha object, again, you must learn how to protect it in the sense that you must keep your mind there, protect it, keep on observing it without falling into going into thinking, going into all this hearing of things or smelling or opening up your eyes, looking at here and there. How you have to protect the concentration object. So here, if those who are practicing these corpses, again, you must take up, for example, the perception of a skeleton, and you must hold the image of the skeleton as if like in front of you, mentally, in front of you, and you have to keep it there, and you notice this as skeleton, 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 in order to arouse the foulness nature of the body, or to arouse that detachment. You see, a lot of us are very attached to this body, beauty, and so on. And with the perception of this type of corpses, skeleton, is to see the total contrast of beauty. The total contrast of beauty, that you do it in a very open, mindful manner, in the sense that you have to be aware that this is a corpse, and you are not become so angry and so afraid and fearful of it. It's kind of like you're aware of it. Skeleton, 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 skeleton. They are doing it for the purpose of arousing some degree of non-attachment to the body, also together with the concentration. There's a question on Friday on Q&A. There's one asked about the first question, that you have perception of the skeleton come in while you are meditating, but you are doing that time rising, falling, sitting, touching. Now, this type of skeleton, when it comes in, that one, this one is not connected with this one. That one is just an offshoot of a vipassana practice. It's an offshoot, and it's a good offshoot in the sense that you just be aware of it, skeleton, 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 and don't attach to it, and then you go back to your rising, falling, or sitting, touching, and so on. But this one is different. This one, for here, they are using the skeleton for the most of the time as their main object. Or the worm-infested corpse as their main object, in order to arouse the non-attachment to the body. And it's good, because for monks or nuns, sometimes there are many who are attached to the body or attached to another. You see the beauty of a woman, see the beauty of a man. And this type of meditation is very helpful. It protects the mind from going into all kinds of lust and desire. So here, and striving for protection, that means you make an effort, the strong effort to keep your meditation object there. This is what it meant by this sutta. So we're going to talk about this since we cover this a little bit. In the next talk, we're going to talk about a little bit more on this effort. We're going to look into effort in the sense that it can be wholesome, it can also be unwholesome. Yeah? If you don't take it properly. Yeah? So we're going to look into the different ways how it can be wholesome or unwholesome. But when we're talking about faculty, the effort is always wholesome. We're talking about the power, or it's always wholesome. But on its own, it can go wholesome or unwholesome. So we will talk about that in the next talk. All right? So we stop here for tonight. Okay.